Welcome into the Triple Option. I am Paul Catalina alongside Pierre Nugent, who returns from a sojourn at jury duty, which we will talk about in a second. And you may be asking yourself, or Pierre might be saying, Paul, why are you standing over there?
Exactly what I was thinking, 100%.
Yeah. So we have been doing some videos with the Waco Humane Society, Pet Circle Waco, a lot of these things. But Carmen is our friend from the Waco Humane Society. They bring in dogs every other week, and we have them on. We have decided we're going to put the dogs to work, and we are going to do a pick'em contest with Yogi, who is a 7-month-old pit bull. He he got hit by a car. You would not know it, though, by how excited he is, but we're going to pick BYU versus Kansas. Now, Yogi's 7 months old, so I am under no delusions that he's just going to eat one of the treats out of these helmets. But whoever, I will say this right now, because I am leading in our pick'em, I will change my pick, which is currently BYU, to Kansas if Yogi picks Kansas. Garrett, wow. Is that a good idea?
I mean, I think it's fair.
It's fair. Yeah, I'll put some stakes on this. So here we go. Here's BYU, here's Kansas. Both of these helmets have treats in them. Yogi has been, for the last 5 minutes, eagerly awaiting this game. So BYU and Kansas right here. All right, Yogi. Come and get them. Come on, Yogi. Come on, buddy. No. Okay, right there. Here he comes. Here he comes. All right. And it's BYU. He did pick BYU. There you go. All right, look. Yogi, come here. All right, there you go. BYU is his pick right there. So come here, Yogi. Well, he's still eating the treats. So you see Yogi. He is the sweetest guy in the world. Come here, bud. Come here. Oh, come here. Look at it. Okay. Come here, Yogi. Come here. Yogi, here you go. They say don't work with kids in animals. Look, come here, buddy, come here. Come on, here, get on camera. Look, don't be camera shy. Oh, now all of a sudden he is? Come here, buddy, come here. Oh.
There he goes.
There he goes. Hey, buddy, okay. So this is Yogi. He is in foster care right now. He's an excellent, wonderful, very sweet boy. He's played with all of us today. And if you would like to adopt Yogi, just go to the Waco Humane Society's website, look him up, and you can have him. Especially, look, he's a puppy, so if you got kids, like this is a great dog for kids. Yeah, he is very sweet. I don't want to let him leave, but we have a show to do. But Yogi, thanks for being our first one. I'm going to take you back over to Carmen here. There we go.
Well done, Yogi.
All right, let me get back in my seat. Carmen, thank you so much. All right, so hold on, my glasses are over here still. All righty. And we're back. All right, Gary, you could switch my mic over now.
I got you. I did.
All right, thank you. All right, here we go. All right, so that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Pierre, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Yogi made the right. Well, I was hoping that he would go with BYU because I did not want you to have to change your pick to Kansas. I was going to be worried about that for you.
Yeah. Well, my wife might be mad, but the dog picked it.
Right.
The dog picked it. So anyway,
you can blame it on the dog. Absolutely, you can blame it on the dog. I mean, what's she going to do? Get mad at Yogi? Oh no, yeah. Maybe we should adopt him. What a terrible idea.
Oh, there we go. Look, yeah. I know I'll wear her down eventually, but right now she's winning the fight. She's not ready. I say winning the fight. She's just not ready.
Sure.
To do this. So Pierre, before we get into the stories of the day, and there's a couple small ones NIL related that I want to get into before we get into our Big Ten topic, and then you and I yelling into the void. You were not here last week because of jury duty.
That's correct.
So first off, we spoke at length last week of different things that you could try. You had an extraordinarily bad idea at first.
Yes. Yeah. Which we will not delve into. Yeah.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
Now I am willing as an actor to help you run through what you should have done to get out of it.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Will you
So
be playing the role of the judge, or will you be playing me?
you will be playing the role of the judge.
Okay.
I will be playing the role of you.
Very good.
So you're going to ask me a question. You're the judge or the attorney, whatever. You're going to ask me a question, and I don't know what juror number you were, but look, as an improver, I will improv this for you, and I'll show you. So juror number 10. Okay. All right. Just ask me any question that they might have asked you, and I'll show you how this should have gone down.
Yeah, juror number 10, is there any reason that you believe that you cannot fulfill your civic duties as asked with or without implicit bias?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question? I was just distracted. I was looking over here at the defendant.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just one more time.
Yeah. Well, here, focus here. What is there any reason that, for any reason, do you believe that you cannot fulfill your duties here as a juror, with or without implicit bias?
I mean, I'd like to think so. I like to think of myself as a person who can just take in the facts and judge something. But, I mean, have you seen this guy's eyes? And then that's all you say. That's it. You end it right there.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be like, I don't know if we can do this. And here's the thing. They'll have to take you out, because after that, there'll be a lot of other jurors who'll be like, no, I also find the defendant very sexually attractive.
Yeah, that was an option.
But you'll be the first one. And look, now maybe as a television figure in Minneapolis, you don't want to do this one.
Right.
I get it, because then people might be like, he's got some weird kinks, that Fox 9 guy. But I don't think it would really get that far. I'll even walk you through what actually happened last week. By the end of Wednesday, there was the jury selection, and the judge, to his credit, nice guy, great, seems like a great individual. He recognized me as we were doing the questionnaires of every juror, and I could tell that he recognized me. And the moment he did, I said to myself, "Oh, that's great. I'm going to get tossed out of here. Like, there's no way I'm going to be staying on." By the end of Wednesday, to my shock and surprise, I was selected, which led me to return Thursday morning and say to the clerk at the court, I would like to have a word with the judge and the lawyers if I could, because and hear me out on this. And so I get in front of them and I say, so I was thinking about this on my drive home yesterday, and obviously I'm a public figure in the community. If we render a guilty verdict, what is to stop the defendant or anyone associated with the defendant who may come in here and testify on his behalf from recognizing me? And again, if we render a guilty verdict, what is to stop them from retaliation? Because I'm not hard to find. Yeah. Which I thought was a legitimate point. And I could see the judge kind of looks at me and he says, he doesn't say this, but it was basically in the tone of, yeah, that's a point. That's a point, but it's probably not going to happen. So, but they didn't really even say that, because I left them with that thought, and I thought maybe I would get dismissed afterwards. But no, the trial started probably 10 minutes after my concerns, to which no one took seriously. I'm sorry, Pierre. I'm sorry it went down that way for you. I'm sure the lawyers rolled their eyes at me as well. Well, you know who ruined that for us, right? Who is that? Oprah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oprah sat on a jury, and I remember when that happened, because I was just on the radio at the time, so I knew that, had I sat on a jury, they would just have to figure out where the radio station was. Right. They may not remember what I look like or anything like that, but they could be like, well, I know that's downtown above the Wingstop. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to eat chicken wings and wait to stab this dude, when I get out. So I thought about that. I've not ever been picked for a jury. This is my second time. Yeah. Second time I've served on a criminal case, actually. And I remember asking a friend of mine who's an attorney, and he was like, well, Oprah messed it up for you. Oh, yeah. If Oprah's going to sit on a jury, then no one has a shot to use that anymore. Because until Oprah, all of them had.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah. So like they'd all been like, well, I can't be on a jury. Like you know.
Yeah. It's, look at me. Me.
Yeah. I mean, like I can't. I'm Jeff Bridges. I can't be on a jury, man.
Right.
I'm the dude.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know? So
100%.
what was the case? What was how did it all shake out?
The case was it was a criminal case. It was a domestic violence case. There was 2 counts of domestic violence, one via strangulation, one intent to inflict bodily harm, or however it's defined. And it's like I said, this is my second time serving on a criminal case, and it's really fascinating to see how it all works and how and it's really tough on the state because they bear the burden of proof.
Yeah.
As everybody, and it really is tough to watch. In a way, it's kind of tough to watch the state try to prove what they need to prove, because we rendered verdicts of not guilty on both counts, and the individual is now walking as a free man. So we just determined there just wasn't enough evidence to support their claims. So
yeah. Well, congratulations for doing your civic duty.
Thank you very much. I feel honored.
Voting and jury duty in the same week.
Oh yeah,
you were like a double like gold star American right now.
Don't nobody talk to me about my patriotic duty. I'm here every single day for this country, day in and day out, no matter my status, my health status.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, I'm glad that's over for you.
Same.
I'm glad it's over. Having had to cover a trial or two in my day for athletes, they are, I wouldn't mind sitting on a jury. I really wouldn't do it. I would do it. But the thing is that you do have to get ready to hear a ton of stuff that you do not want to hear.
Yeah.
Because it's not like on TV, you can be like, oh, those are the people in the box, right?
Right.
But then like when you're in the room and like the victims over here and the perpetrators over here, it's really like you're just like, oh my gosh, like it's one of those things that you're like, oh my God, people are terrible. Like that's what you think, and so it's really hard to like, I respect anybody who goes through it and who does it responsibly, and I know that sometimes juries have people like, oh man, I really want to be in this trial. That's the ones that got to get out.
That's in my thought process, I almost looked at the judge and wanted to say, like, couldn't you just put me on a civil case or something? Like this would be a lot easier for me.
Yeah.
A lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah. I just imagine you like on a divorce or something like that, some sort of civil case.
Yeah.
And then like you're out doing your show at, with PJ Fleck, and to be like, Pierre sucks. And then PJ's like, what? And it's like, yeah. That guy cost me $700,000.
I was told, because actually it's funny that you bring that up, because I was unable to do the PJ Fleck show that week because of jury duty. And I heard through the grapevine that there was conversations on set, which included PJ, that they all determined that no matter what case I was on, it was an automatic slam dunk that I was going to render a guilty verdict. So now I'm going to have a little bit of breaking news for them next week.
So even PJ Fleck thinks you're a curmudgeon.
Oh yeah. He was 100% convinced that I was going to be pointing to I might as well just point to him in the courthouse and just say guilty right away.
Well, be like, look, if they're sitting on the right side of the courtroom, they did it. Like, or the left side, they did it. Like that's like I'm that guy. Yeah.
The overwhelming consensus, as I found out later on after the fact. So.
Well, no, I do think people go in like that because there's a lot of people that like, well, they wouldn't be here had they not done anything wrong. Right. Yeah. But like, there's a lot that goes into crime, there's a lot of factors.
There's a lot. And one thing that stayed with me, and I think was a little bit applicable in the case that I served on, is just because you render a not guilty verdict doesn't necessarily make you innocent of what may have transpired. It's just the charges against you and what the state is able to prove.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Pierre, let's get into a couple things. We'll start with Bryce Underwood, who is quarterback out of Michigan. Where in Michigan, Garrett, is he from?
It's outside of Detroit.
Just outside Detroit. He is the number one quarterback prospect in the country. I think by pretty much everybody.
Yeah, he's a 5-star plus.
5-star plus.
Wow.
That mean they're not going to a 6-star. They're just adding a plus.
Wow.
On that. So
streaming, is this a new streaming service?
Yeah, exactly.
For recruits that I don't know about.
Yeah. So he's a 5-star plus. He has been committed for over a year now, right? To LSU.
It's just over 300 days now.
Yeah, almost a year. Almost a year to LSU. Dave Portnoy, and we've talked about this on the show a little bit, but Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports, Michigan man, did an interview a couple months ago that said, I have told Sharon Moore that I'm willing to, pay up to help him get a quarterback, and he told me the guy. Well, last week on the show, I think this was on Thursday last week. This was actually on Thursday last week when you weren't here. We talked about this a lot because one of the quarterbacks they had committed is a player named Carter Smith who plays at my high school, at Bishop Verot High School in Fort Myers. He is by far the best player we've ever had come out of Bishop Verot, and he's committed to Michigan. By the way, now it's leaning garnet and gold, buddy. It's leaning garnet and gold, and we need all the help we can get. So, I did talk to some friends of mine who know Carter very well. I'm hoping that we eventually get him on the show because I do want to talk about his journey, whether he winds up at FSU or Wisconsin or Penn State or, Grand Valley State. Don't care where he goes. I'm just very interested in the story. And, we have a connection of being, Bishop Verot Vikings. So I'm hoping eventually he'll be on the show when he's ready to do an interview or whatever. But so last week, Carter decommitted. In the same 90 minutes, you start hearing about Bryce Underwood getting this massive NIL offer from Michigan. And then you start putting two and two together. And then Garrett, Mr. LSU fan's like, well, I'm not ever going to watch Barstool again. So he was like, well, this is Portnoy doing this.
Absolutely is.
Yeah, so it's Portnoy doing it. Well, now the number is allegedly out. And Bryce Underwood reportedly, according to On3 and Rivals and a couple other recruiting sites, has been offered $10.5 million for 4 years to go to Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a healthy amount of content that Barstool is producing these days that can get to that number for.
And they just hired John Gruden. Announced that today. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I did not know that. That's news to me. Barstool hired John Gruden.
Yes.
Wow.
Hopefully his content's going to help drive some of the
his game breakdowns, though. Gruden's game breakdowns on YouTube are actually very informative for those who have not watched it.
Even though they're a little bit weird.
They agreed. But I mean, if you want to get really into X's and O's, it's a good watch. It's a good watch.
Yeah. Yeah. He's Spider 2 Y banana all over the place.
Yeah, right.
So but $10.5 million. And then on the other side of this, Pierre, here's another one. John Mateer, who is the quarterback at Wazoo, who is absolutely fantastic, super athlete.
Yeah.
It's wild to say that they don't really miss Cam Ward, but they're 7-1, which is a better record than they had when Cam Ward was there. Now, granted, they were playing in the Pac-12, so that's part of it. And now they're, in this Pac-2, dead zone or whatever they are, kind of a, makeshift schedule. Well, I don't know, it's makeshift. It's a good schedule. They had a really good schedule, but they're 7 or 8-1. They've got one loss. It's to Boise State on the year. And he reportedly has a 7-figure offer from a Power 4 school. So these are things that are happening. And I don't know, I did a week, awards of the week.
Right.
Top 5, Pierre, and he won the award for most likely to be tampered with. And I was 80% kidding, but no, it's clearly happening.
Yeah. No, one of my. It's funny that you bring him up because one of my best friends, who's a gigantic college football fan as well. He and I watched Mateer, slice and dice San Jose State earlier in the season. The 54-52 overtime shootout that game turned out to be, and my buddy, his name is Dave. He kept texting me saying, "Oh, this guy is going to be a college football legend. He's just going to be going down as the wild, Cowboy of the West, the way he plays football." And I was watching him play. I was like, this kid's pretty good. Like, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
He could be playing pretty much anywhere else at this point if he keeps playing like this.
Well, I will tell you that Ben Arbuckle is the offensive coordinator there. He's young. He's going to be very sought after. And I would think that you might get a nice little package deal if you hire Ben Arbuckle. So in bringing him down. So we'll see where Ben Arbuckle goes and maybe where John Mateer goes, or John Mateer could stay. We don't know. I mean, it's Ashton Genty stayed, and I can tell you if John Mateer is getting tampered with, Ashton Genty, and we know, like, people offered him 7 figures to leave Boise State, and he's like, no, I'll be cool here. I've got my 7 figures coming in a year. Like, don't worry about that. When I'm a first round pick, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I'll be good. Plus, he's like the most loyal, like, sweetest guy in the world. We've had him on the show like 2 or 3 times, and that's the thing that just keeps, like, this guy is the most lethal, like, scariest running back in the country, and you're like, so he's like, well, I'm just happy to be here. Like, just the most calm, like, you wouldn't expect him, but you watch him out in the field, and it's like, oh, well, the full moon's out, and he's a werewolf now, man.
Yeah,
he's just ripping people up. So, but yeah, Ashton Genty said no, because the grass isn't always greener. But I do think when it comes to quarterbacks in particular, I think they get to a point where you just got to go. I remember talking to Carrot and I were talking to Jake Spavital earlier this year, asking him about, what it was like at Texas State. And he's like, guys would come in, and I'd be like, I mean, I wish you would stay here, but hell, go, man. Like, like, if they're going to, like, we can give you this much money. If they're doubling it or tripling it, I mean, go. Like, I will come to your house and help you fold clothes. Like, let's go. Like, I hate to lose you, but that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, and it's not just at the professional level. You just demonstrated it's also at the collegiate level now, where players look out for players. Like, they know that good deals for other players could mean better deals or equal deals for themselves, like, down the road, if their play is good enough. So, as long as we keep upping the ante in terms of what these players can get, the business side only helps the players. So I think they're smart enough to understand that too, that, okay, maybe if I'm playing at Texas State, my team might not be as good if we don't keep this guy, but I'm not going to begrudge somebody to go take more money, because what would I do if I was in that situation? I'd probably do the same thing. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, again, that's just how life is. I mean, the thing is now you're just putting it on kids at a little bit of younger age.
Right. And that's the only thing. I shouldn't use the word worry. It's not so much I worry about it, but when you're 18 and 19 and 20 years old and you see $1 million flash before your eyes, don't get us wrong. I know $1 million is a lot of money to a lot of us, but in the grand scheme of things, when they realize, oh, maybe I could have made 1.5, or maybe I could have made 2 somewhere else. The moment you see $1 million flash before your eyes, you just want to grab it with 2 hands and make sure it's in your pocket. Thinking that perhaps if you stay patient, or if you shop around a little bit, who knows, you can get a better deal.
Yeah, absolutely.